Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our bets and your bets going to be another profitable day for you. Thursday, January 29th, it continues. More basketball for you. College and pro basketball. Not a lot of top 25 teams in action in college, but still plenty of action for us. In there and the NBA schedule. Yesterday, a knockout day. Hopefully, you guys all made some dollars with this as well, especially on the Discord. We did not have the daily show due to some health issues. We've been struggling with those, missing a few here and there. No reason number one why to join the Discord. You get all the bets still on there. So if you're new to our show or been here before, welcome back or welcome aboard. All of our episodes here on YouTube brought to you by Outlier, the world's #1 sports betting app. 7-day free trial for checking it out over on Outlier. You'll find that link in the comments section of the show, as well as on our YouTube channel page and that Discord that I mentioned. Join a couple 100+ members that love doing the same thing you do, sports wagering. Get all of our bets early. Get all of our unit sizes as well, which we don't go over during the show. Plus, going to get bonus materials. We're trying to get out golf as quickly as we can for this week with the Farmers Open. So we got to get those out here in just a little bit for the Discord. We don't put that out for the public. Formula One, WNBA, or a couple of others we don't put out for the public either. For the public, we put out basketball, baseball, and football. And the rest of it, you get additionals in the Discord. So check that out. Link in the comments section, YouTube channel page. Let's get started in college basketball as we normally do. We're going to start with the first game that we're on. Colorado, Iowa State. Iowa State, you've been through a little bit of a slump here lately, even though fantastic record on the season. They are 18-2. The only two losses coming in the Big 12 and coming here as of late, as they've won. They're 2-2 their last four, losing at Cincinnati and at KU. Colorado comes in, losers of 5+ straight here in the Big 12, lost to UCF, lost to KU, lost West Virginia, lost to Cincinnati, lost to Texas Tech. All those games have been relatively close, though. Even the games that Iowa State has won, they did cover against UCF, didn't cover against Okie State. They've played Okie State actually twice and still haven't covered that number as they won by 12 and 13. It's been not their best effort, but they're still 5-2. They're fourth in the Big 12, and the Big 12 is a monster when you consider Arizona, Houston, Texas Tech, BYU, Kansas which used to dominate this league. All of a sudden, it's 5-2 in the league as well. So a lot of good teams in the Big 12, very top heavy, going to have possibility of some Final Four teams for sure. But anyway, on this particular game here, love my alma mater, but don't like that 17.5 number at all. We're going to focus on the total has moved down. 153.5 total is where it got started. That's where we grabbed it. It's down to 152.5. Need to get it before it goes any more. I think in that one, as I expect this game to be played in the mid to high 140s in this one here. So Iowa State, Colorado under 78.5 first half. And 153.5 for the game. Next game we are on is going to be a Le Mans or whatever against Long Island. Long 6-2 in the Northeast Conference. Long Island 6-1. Long Island coming in here as the favorite, as to be expected, but 6.5 seems like an awful big number for a game that's probably going to be decided by less than 5 on this one. So give us Le Mans 3 plus 3.5 in the first half plus 6.5 for the game. The next game we're on is going to be, as we get to it here, Troy, James Madison. James Madison really struggling as of late, 10-11 overall, 3-6 in the Sun Belt. The Troy has really started to kick it up here in the Sun Belt. They're 8-1 in the Sun Belt, 15-6 overall. And Troy coming in, winners of the last 5. They have beat Georgia Southern, Old Dominion, Arkansas State, Southern Miss, and Louisiana. And James Madison losers of 3 out of their last 5, only beating Texas State, which they did trounce them. I will give them that. They did beat Old Dominion by 1, so common opponent. Troy ended up going to double overtime to win by 6, but on the road versus James Madison being at home. So, like I said, Troy's really started to kick it into gear. We love Troy in this particular spot, favored by 8.5. Total 149.5. probably pretty close to that number. We thought between 145 and 155. So want to stick with Troy here. -4.5 in the first half, -8.5 for the game in that one. Next game we're on, we're going to get to Liberty at Middle Tennessee. This game also 7 o'clock. Sorry, we've been missing some times there. 7 o'clock on Eastern on CBS Sports Network in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If I can't, or Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Murphy Center. Middle Tennessee 5-3 in Conference USA, solid record, 11-8 overall. Liberty has dominated Conference USA so far this season, coming in at a 17-3 record, but 9-0 in Conference USA play. And they're only a 1.5 point favorite here. The line does tend you to believe that, hey, maybe we should take a little bit more look at Middle Tennessee State. I'm going to tell you, Liberty's better, and they're not just a little bit better. They're quite a bit better than Middle Tennessee State. The only way this game goes sideways is if one of the team gets extremely hot or extremely cold shooting the ball. If it's an average night, Liberty wins this game by more than 1.5, but we're going to even take it easier and play the money line here. We'll take the 1.5 out of play. Liberty money line, first half. Liberty money line for the game. Next game up for us is going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern time, ESPN2, Florida Atlantic on the road at Memphis FedEx Forum. They're 6-2 in the American, 14-7 overall. Memphis has started to lay turds, 9-10 overall. When's the last time we saw Memphis this bad? 4-3 in the American. We haven't seen Memphis this bad in a while. Memphis is favored by 2.5 here. Florida Atlantic is a much better team. If this game was a neutral site game, I think Florida Atlantic should be favored by 4.5. The home team don't get 7 points where we're from. Therefore, it's FAU plus the 1.5 first half plus 2.5 for the game. Next game up, South Dakota at home against Oral Roberts in Vermillion, South Dakota. South Dakota, 11-11, 3-4 in the Summit. Nothing spectacular to write home about. Oral Roberts is the fade here. Oral Roberts, I'm going to say one of the worst teams in college basketball. Is probably pretty close. 5-17 in overall, 0-7 in the Summit League. South Dakota only favored by 4.5. It's time to take advantage of lines like this. South Dakota -2.5 first half, 4.5 for the game. Next game we're on, Tennessee State, if we can find them. Excuse me, as we're rolling through here. Little Rock, 8:30 Eastern time frame. This game in Nashville at the Gentry Center. Tennessee State 7-3 in conference play, 13-7 overall. Little Rock's been pretty solid as well, 6-3 in league play, but 9-11 as they did not get many wins before the conference play started. Game in Nashville. Tennessee State favored by 5.5, 155.5 total, and it's Tennessee State for us -3 in the first half, -5.5 for the game. Next game up, a team I've probably underestimated for most of the season, and my apologies on that one. 9 o'clock Eastern time frame. Washington at Illinois in Champaign State Farm Center. Illinois favored by 12.5. Illinois has had some nice wins as of late, 153.5 total. They're 8-1 in Big Ten play. I didn't think they were going to be a top 10 team. That's where they currently sit. I thought maybe somewhere between 15 and 20, but they've been a little bit better than expected, and they're not getting a bunch of love for all their conference wins as well. You got to remember, Michigan has basically the same Big Ten record that Illinois does. Illinois is favored by 12.5. I thought it would have been closer to 15 here. So give us Illinois -6.5 first half, and then -12.5 for the game. All right, that's going to run us down for college basketball. We're going to flip over to the NBA. What a crazy night on Wednesday. Lakers had Lakers were right around pretty much a push at halftime, and next thing you know, they lose by 30. Pacers, who we thought would win the game, unfortunately did not come out early. The big surprise for us was the Hawks. We're up on 20 at the Celtics in Boston. The over in the Magic Heat game was an easy cover there. The Knicks and the Raptors, this was one of those games, again, Raptors cruised first quarter, first half wins for us, but the game wasn't even close. Hornets continued to cover. Mavs did not cover at home. That was probably the burn of the day. The Spurs +2.5 did win by 12 at the Rockets. Some interesting stuff. Now we get on to Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern time frame. The worst team in the league, more than likely, or at least the worst situation with the way the salary cap and the player situation is the Kings in Philly at the Xfinity Mobile Arena going against the 76ers. in this one here. Philly favored by 11.5, 228.5 total. This line has already went up a point. I expect it to probably go up another, get closer to 230 at least. Injury report is the number one thing you got to look at here. Russell Westbrook finally on game time decision. Malik Monk, game time decision. Keegan Murray still out. For the 76ers, the normal two, Paul George, Joel Embiid, both game time decisions. They didn't play yesterday, so got a chance to play today. Marjan Beauchamp and then Quentin is out. Quentin Grimes also going to be a game time decision. The Kings have lost more than 5+ more in a row, and 76ers have won 2 out of their last 5. It's been a little ugly. It's the 76ers. If you're a 76ers fan or a player on the 76ers, this back and forth crap with Joel Embiid just knocks anything out. Maxey looks, how do I put this, sometimes almost lost because I've got to play supporting role when Embiid's in there, and I've got to play primary scorer and everything else when he's not. It's a little confusing. God forbid if you're a 76er, but if you're a 76er fan, you have to be pulling your hair out, even though, I mean, in the Eastern Conference, you're right there at 25-21. You're 500 at home, 13-13. The line for us is that total, that 227.5, I think is a ticket. I expect this game to be played in the 240s. 76ers Kings over 58.5 first half, 58.5 first quarter. My apologies. 116.5 first half, 227.5 for the game. If you're getting at 228.5, you're still in good shape. Sabonis, 11+ rebounds. He has started to pick up the pace on the rebounds and assists. So good times for there. Whether Embiid plays or not, I still don't care. Embiid's worth 10 rebounds if he's at full health. And full health hasn't been for a while. Kelly Oubre, 5+ field goals. Edgecombe, 3 for all you guys that love our first quarter bets, 3+ points in the first quarter. Precious Achiuwa, under 6.5 points. Precious Achiuwa, under 2.5 field goals. More first quarter bets here for you. Sabonis, 2+ assists in the first quarter. Pretty good plus money on that one. Kelly Oubre, 4+ points in the first quarter. Kelly Oubre, 18+ par, which is points, assists, rebounds. Zach LaVine, we're actually going to play for an over 22+ points, assists, rebounds. Sabonis, once again, for a first quarter play, 3+ rebounds in the first quarter. Next game up, 7 o'clock Eastern time frame on Prime Video. I bet Amazon is sitting here going, why the hell do we have this dumb-ass Bucks-Wizards game? I mean, I'd almost rather do the Kings-Sixers game. There is nobody on the Bucks-Wizards or nobody going to watch this game. NBA ratings on this one should be less than 2 people, and that's for the 2 degenerates like myself that might actually watch it on replay. It is god-awful in this one. Milwaukee favored by 2.5 on the road. They're 18-27 overall, 9-15 on the road. And it gets even better for the Wizards as they're 11-34, 7-15 at home. It's ugly. There's not much to watch here, especially with no Giannis. As Giannis trade talks continue to heat up, he's out. Kevin Porter's out, and Prince is out. For the Wizards, Vucevic out, Bagley out, Sarr game time decision. And, of course, Cam Whitmore's out for the season, and Trae Young, who demanded to be traded, will probably never play for the Wizards. Fun stuff, isn't it? So far, this one, Wizards have taken 2 out of 3 against the Bucks. The Bucks won at Milwaukee. The Wizards did win at home and on the road. Both close, though. 1 and 3-point game total. The game Milwaukee did win back in October was a 13-point win, but that's when Giannis was healthy. But that all being said, we are going to take the Bucks in this spot. The 2.5 is too light. If this thing was 5.5, we'd probably be looking for alternates here. But at 2.5, going to try to take advantage of a smaller play, though. Bucks -0.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half. 2.5 for the game. All of a sudden, Keyshawn George has been in Fuego as of lately. He started off the season so hot, then cooled off, and all of a sudden now back again. And if Sarr is out, expect even more production out of George. Keyshawn George, 24+ points and rebounds. Keyshawn George, 30+ par, points, assists, rebounds combined. One of our favorite plays, Cole Anthony under 3.5 field goals made. Miles Turner under 6.5 rebounds. Keyshawn George, 12+ rebounds and assists combined. Cole Anthony under 14.5 points and assists. Aren't they glad they traded for Cole Anthony? Keyshawn George, 2 more plays, 3 plus threes, good plus money there, and also 7 plus rebounds, good plus money there as well. Next game up. Well, the Hawks had the surpriser of the day on Wednesday. Can they be the surprise again here on Thursday? 8 o'clock Eastern time. They're at home where they've been god-awful. They're 24-25 overall, but they're 9-13 at home. That's why that record's not above 500. Rockets come off a disappointing loss at home against the Spurs. Wemby finally, I guess, went to the cup a little bit, but Rockets were in that game. It was back and forth, and all of a sudden the Spurs made a little bit of a, like a 10-0 run or so, fourth quarter, and next thing you know, the game's over. They couldn't overcome it. But it should be an interesting one here in Atlanta, State Farm Arena, because State Farm doesn't have enough arenas or fields or anything named after them. Florida's injury report, Steven Adams still out, and Fred VanVleet obviously out for the season. For the Hawks, Rissa Sure is now coming from out to game time decision. Kristaps Porzingis still out. And Okongwu, a big piece of what they do in Atlanta, is a game time decision in that one. That all being said, that back-to-back for both teams, Hawks money line was too juicy to pass up. It is good plus money for a team that should be better at home. The Rockets are under 500 on the road at 12-13. A good opportunity here for the Hawks to get a win. The line's already come down from 4.5 where it opened to 3.5. So not only me thinking it, but sounds like some other sharps as well on that particular game. We like the Hawks money line first quarter, first half in a game. And if you haven't had a chance to watch Amen Thompson this year, he is definitely worth watching. This season has been a breakout year for him. 24 plus points and assists, 27 plus points in rebounds. Sengun has been cold, under 15.5 rebounds and assists. Durant, 25 plus points. The guy could be 40 years old and still hit mid-range jumpers. Eason, one of our favorite players for props normally. It's a shame we missed over a month with some injuries, but 2 plus threes. Sengun under 26.5 points and assists. Sengun under 29.5 points and rebounds. Kevin Durant plus money at 3 plus threes. He's hit that in 4 consecutive games as well. All right, we're on to the next one, shall we? Let's get a little Bulls. Let's get a little Heat. So what are we supposed to think of the Heat? Like, the Heat have been, they were hot at the start of the season, then they cooled off, and then all of a sudden, like, they've won 3 out of their last 5. And to be really honest, game last night, they had an opportunity to beat Orlando there. They lost the game to Phoenix, but, I mean, they won the game against Phoenix on the road. They beat Utah by 30. They lost to Portland in a weird game, and they beat Sacramento. Why the Bulls continue, losing the last 2 at the Pacers and to the Lakers at home, but they beat Boston, the T-Wolves, and the Clippers, 3 of the better team, 3 of the top 10, top 12 teams in the league. Maybe the Clippers aren't there, but they might be there by the end of the year, where they're playing now. It's just hard to get a read on what we think. Injury report is this. Tyler Hero is a game time decision. I don't expect him to play, but he is a game time. Davion Mitchell, also game time with the shoulder. And our favorite player to bet on ever, Terry Rozier, still out. Emmanuel Miller, Kamarwa, Trey Jones, all game time decisions for the Bulls. And Zach Collins is out. He's probably out till closer to February on that one there. That all being said, like I said, Bulls are favored by 1.5. That line's been consistent. 242.5 is where this thing opens. It's sitting at 241.5 now for a total. I don't know. Like I said, I just think the Bulls have got enough here. They've been beating the better teams, so maybe that's what they need to play. And I'm not saying the Heat are the best team in the league, but better than some of the lower ones. So Bulls money line, first quarter, first half in game. Kobe White, who started to score again, 21 plus points. Jalen Smith, 2 plus threes. If you watch the show or the Discord lately, you'll see this bet in there almost every day at the juice that we're getting. Vucevic, 2 plus threes. Josh Giddey, plus money on this one at 8 plus rebounds. For your first quarter bettors, again, Kobe White over 4.5 or 5 plus points, depending on how you score at home. Dosimo has kind of disappointed on the road, but he has hit 2 plus threes in 8 consecutive home games. So we're going back to Dosimo, 2 plus threes. Next game up. Can somebody tell me how to figure out these two teams? Charlotte Hornets and the Dallas Mavericks. Hornets, 20-28, 11-15 on the road. Mavericks, 19-28, but 14-13 at home. And Mavericks got punched in the mouth last night on this one. For the Hornets, KJ Simpson, game time decision. Plumlee still out. For the Mavs, all right, Anthony Davis obviously is going to be out till March. Kyrie Irving, probably the same thing. Derek Lively's out for the season. Cooper Flagg, game time decision, and Klay Thompson, both game time decisions. For the Hornets, only KJ Simpson and Plumlee, like we went over. Plumlee's been out for quite some time. Basically this, over the last 5, the Mavericks have lost their last 2, won 3 straight before that. The Hornets have won 4 consecutive games here. The only thing they've lost in the last 5 was that turd they laid in Cleveland a little over a week ago, where they scored 87 whopping points. But otherwise, won at Orlando, beat Washington, beat Philly, won at Memphis. Both teams, like I said, coming off a back-to-back. And, Charlotte had to travel a little bit. Brandon Miller's been lighting it up a little bit here as of late as well. Watch out for him. Knuppel, who was so hot at the start of the season, is kind of cooled off. He's not putting up those 20-plus points a game anymore. 228.5 totals, interesting as well. Something that we might take a look at the over later on. But we do like the Hornets laying the 3.5. -1 in the first quarter. 2 in the first half, 3.5 for the game, sorry. LaMelo Ball, 22-plus points and rebounds. Brandon Miller, 30-plus par. We're going back to the end of that one again. That's points, assists, rebounds combined. P.J. Washington, under 23.5 par. Points, assists, rebounds. Brandon Miller, 25-plus points and assists. We know he doesn't do too many assists, so we're going to need probably 24 points of that. LaMelo Ball, 16-plus points. Naj Marshall, who's been a nice little ATM for us as of late on player props, 23-plus points and rebounds. And next game up into the barn burner of the night. No, I'm just kidding on that one. My apologies. 9 o'clock Eastern time frame. Nets, god-awful, 12-33, 6-16 on the road. Nuggets, 31-16, 12-9 at home. Still missing Jokic. It's like I said, the Nets, the Nuggets have been a big surprise with Jokic and Braun and Gordon and Jamal Murray's missed some time. They have held up really well. And hopefully Jokic is less than a week away from getting back in this lineup as well. They did. Now, these guys, this is the second game of the season between the Nets and the Nuggets. Nets did take game 1 earlier this month, winning by 12 at home against the Nuggets. The Nets have gotten absolutely destroyed as of late. They lost by just 4 at Phoenix. That was close. They had a chance to win that game. Suns lucked into that one. They lose by 37 to the Clippers. They kept the Boston game close, only lost by 4. They lost by 50-plus against the Knicks. And then they played the Suns before that, losing by 9 at home. Nuggets, on the other hand, just losing to 2 against Detroit is nothing to be shameful of. They did win at Milwaukee, at the Wizards, did lose a close one to the Lakers. The game they got beat up lately is the one against Charlotte at home. That was kind of a big blip on the radar there. Both Nuggets fighting for a playoff spot. Nets fighting for the number 1 overall pick is how we're looking at this. The line's 7.5, Denver being the favorite. 210.5 total. Man, when we're looking at still 240 totals in a lot of places, the C210 is crazy, but we do like the Nuggets quite a bit in this one. Nuggets -2 in the first quarter, 4 in the first half, 7.5 for the game. Powell, 7+ points. That's about probably one of the few overs you're going to see we're going to play in this game, because we're going back to the Nick Claxton ATM plays, under 7.5 rebounds, under 22.5 par. Wolf, under 8.5 points. Bruce Brown, 3+ field goals. Not a lot of props in that particular game, and some of these games are going to be a little one-sided on props. There's a lot of back-to-backs on this Thursday night, so just keep that in mind. A lot more stuff will become available as the night and the morning and the day go on. 9 o'clock Eastern time frame. Speaking of those Pistons, number 1 team in the East by 6+ games. The Celtics and the Knicks are the 2 teams behind them, basically tied for the 2 seed. I'm going to tell you right now, if the Pistons aren't the 1 seed, I'll be shocked when this thing finishes up. It means Cade Cunningham probably got hurt. The Pistons are favored by 4.5, 215.5 total, another low total compared to what we've seen for most of the season. This line did open at the Pistons at 5.5. Immediately got bet down. Injury report-wise, Caris LeVert is the only one for the Pistons on there with an illness game-time decision. For the Suns, some bigger pieces missing. Devin Booker, obviously the biggest piece. He is definitely out. Colin Gillespie, who's been a nice point guard for them, game-time decision with the hand. Jalen Green, who unfortunately they have not seen hardly any of this season, also a game-time decision with the hamstring. Isaiah Livers with an illness. That illness thing is going around like crazy. So the Pistons did beat the Suns by 3 in Detroit about 2 weeks ago. This is the second game of the series. The Suns did barely beat Brooklyn, lost to Miami, lost to Atlanta. Atlanta actually won a home game in that one. Did beat Philly and Brooklyn before that. The Pistons, the only game they've lost in the last 5 was against Houston. Houston had a really good shooting night there, winning 111-104. But they did win at Denver by a couple. They beat Sacramento by 20. They beat New Orleans by 8, barely beat Boston by 1. They haven't covered a ton of games because they've been such a big favorite. Their point differential for the year is 7, which is a fabulous number. But unfortunately, when you're looking at the Thunder's number of 13, it looks a lot worse. But a 7+ positive point differential at this point in the season is a really good number. We like the Pistons in this spot. I just think without Booker, too much has fallen on Dillon Brooks. So Pistons minus 1.5 first quarter, 2.5 first half, 4.5 for the game. Jaden Ivey 3+ field goals. Royce O'Neal under 14.5 points and rebounds. Remember how hard the Suns were like, we need to keep Royce O'Neal for what? You can find all kinds of dudes on the street that can get you 15 points and rebounds combined, but they like him there in Phoenix. What are you going to do? Right? So then we've got Brooks under 26.5 par, points, assists, rebounds, and Ausar Thompson for all your first quarter bettors, 2+ rebounds in the first quarter. Jalen Duren, 15+ points. He should have, pretty easy doing there, I would think. Ausar Thompson, 1+ assist in the first quarter for all your first quarter bettors again. He has hit that one, I believe, in 10 consecutive. Ausar Thompson, 2+ steals. Dillon Brooks, 5+ points in the first quarter. All right, we're going to finish up the night in Minneapolis. 9:30 Eastern time frame, the second game of the Prime Video. At least they get a good game because the first game Prime Video has to show. Nobody will be watching. Everybody should be tuning in for this one. Unfortunately, it's 9:30 Eastern time frame in Minneapolis Target Center. T-Wolves 16-8 at home overall, 29-19. Thunder obviously best record in the league, 38-10. Remember when we were talking about this team when they were like 24-1, or 25-1? So 13-9 their last 22. They've come back to life, and injuries have had a lot to do with it. Thunder favored by 6.5, total 225.5. Now, the T-Wolves have went under 225.5 total their last 7 out of their last 10 home games. This line has went up. Thunder were 5.5, now 6.5. T-Wolves were impressive against the Mavs, I guess, but it's the Mavs. Now, so far this series, Thunder have won by 8 at home, and the T-Wolves have won by 5 at home. So far, 1-1 split with the home teams. Injury report is a big deal here. We'll start off with the easy one. The T-Wolves are still missing Terrence Shannon Jr., everybody else at health. For the Thunder, A.J. Mitchell once again out. Carson Willis, game time decision. Alex Caruso once again out. Jalen Williams once again out. And Topic still out for the Thunder. Lately, like I said, the T-Wolves have won 2 straight, but before that, they were just getting killed. Golden State smacked them around. They lost against Chicago at home. They lost at Utah. For the Thunder, they've won 3 out of their last 5. They beat New Orleans by 9. They lost to Toronto at home by a couple. The big surprise was just less than a week ago, lost to the Pacers at home. What an embarrassment that was. They did beat Milwaukee and Cleveland before that, killing both of those teams by 20 and 30. Hard to figure out what the Thunder are going to be without some of their pieces. I still think the Thunder are going to win the NBA championship unless injuries get in the way. But, man, could they use a 3-point freaking shooter. We've been saying it all season long on the show. But Corey Kispert, it doesn't seem like the Thunder are interested in picking anybody up. But, God, if they could just get a couple guys that can make some threes, how tough would this team be? Anyway, the totals where we're attacking this one under. As we mentioned, the T-Wolves have went under 7 out of their last 10 home games. Under 225.5 is what we're going to attack. So under 58.5 first quarter, 116.5 first half, 225.5 for the game. Chet Holmgren has been a turd over the last month, to be polite. Under 29.5 par, under 27.5 points and rebounds, under 18.5 points. His rebound numbers should come down because Hartenstein is back playing, which always seems to cut into his rebounds. Isaiah Joe under 10.5 points. Isaiah Joe under 12.5 points and assists. Naz Reid, he started to rebound the ball much, much better. So 9+ rebounds and assists for him. Jaden McDaniels, 2+ threes. He's hit 4 out of 5 his last 5 home games. It is pretty sizable plus money for McDaniels as well. Hartenstein, 10+ rebounds and assists. Jalen Williams, yes, the one that's actually playing, under 6.5 points. SGA under 11.5 rebounds and assists because nobody can make a shot when he passes them damn ball anyway. Wiggins under 2.5 threes. Naz Reid, who we mentioned earlier, 7+ rebounds. And the SGA under 6.5 assists. Those last two, both plus money. We like plus money bets. Those are always a lot more fun. I love putting up less money than I'm going to give back, right? So that's going to be a rundown of college basketball, NBA basketball for Thursday, January 29th. If you like the content you're seeing here, do us a favor, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, share it with a friend. All that stuff is greatly appreciative. So anybody, if you can do any of that, I always appreciate everything we see on there. And I appreciate everybody watching as we have some very loyal followers, which is always, always greatly appreciated. All of our shows here on YouTube brought to you by the world's #1 sports betting app, Outlier. 7-day free trial in the comment section or on our YouTube channel page. Also, Discord channel. If you want to join our Discord, it'll be in the same 2 spots in the comment section or the YouTube channel page. Join a couple 100+ members who love doing the same thing you do, sports wagering, and do it with ease because we're going to give you all the bets early. We're going to give you all the unit size so you know where to put your bigger money first. Plus, you're going to get plenty of bonus bets as well by joining up. So that Discord channel link, like I said, comment section or YouTube channel page. We do appreciate everybody's support as always and look forward to seeing you on our next episode.